Like it? Not a bad little place, is it? Who'd have thought that Blanchet would end up a reputable businessman? Well, so I am. Proud over this establishment, thanks to His Majesty King Louis XIV. One of the King Louis. Paid for my silence, I was.
That's good money down the drain, then.
My wife. Wonderful woman. Delight of my days. And nights too, of course. What a woman.
Blanchet, you're going to stand there chattering all night.
Give us a story,
Did I ever tell you about the siege of La Rochelle? Yeah, no. When my master and his friends and I had
breakfast on the Bastion.
With 1,000 howling Huguenots shooting at you.
What about the Queen's diamonds?
Been there thousands of times.
Milady de Winter.
And the Duke of Buckingham.
And the Comte de Fair. Millions of times.
Yeah, all right. What about the man in the iron mask?
I've heard a story about a man in an iron mask.
Oh, everybody's heard a version of the story. They'll tell us soon. But how many of you have heard the true story by one who knows?
Oh, come on. Is it safe?
Yeah. No one believes a word of it anyway.
All right then. Ladies and gentlemen, and friends of me husband, fill up your tankards and prepare yourselves to hear the true story of
the man in the iron mask. Let's start at the top. The young King Louis XIV, known as the Sun King, but christened Louis d'Adon. That's Louis the gift of God. Due to the, how can I put it, miraculous circumstances of his birth.
his mother, Anne of Austria, a lady with a past.
You might remember how we helped her out with a little matter of her affair with the Duke of Buckingham.
Yeah, well, never mind the Duke of Buckingham. I mean, he might have been the first of her lovers, but he certainly weren't the last.
So, when she fell pregnant with Louis after years of barren marriage, it was something of a surprise. Now, charitable folk put it down to the holy intercession of her friend, Cardinal Mazarin.
And uncharitable folk put it down to the unholy intercourse with her friend, Cardinal Mazarin.
Especially when her husband, good King Louis XIII, died.
Anne became regent as her son was only 5 years old. She and Mazarin ruled France until the sad death of the cardinal, at which point Louis decided he was of age to rule alone and declared,
L'État, c'est moi.
That's I am the state, by the way. Not burdened by humility, Louis.
The Minister of Finance, Colbert, watched this domestic struggle with interest. At first, he approved of Louis's attempts to cut the apron strings, but then Louis's true nature began to show itself.
The state of monarchy is the supremest thing on earth. The king sits upon God's throne on earth.
Anne began to fear for her son and for France. She had to find some way to restrain him.
So she found him a wife.
Yeah, that restrains most men.
The Infanta Maria Theresa, who fell desperately in love with a handsome young king.
Natural.
But he did not love her.
So Anne was forced to reveal a secret to Minister Colbert.
A secret that enabled them to control King Louis.
A secret that could eclipse even the Sun King.
So, whilst Colbert took over the running of policy,
Louis was left to patronize the arts, the sciences, and the humanities.
the unhappy queen poured out her grief to a dressmaker and lady-in-waiting.
Constance D'Artagnan, a lady of charm and discretion, whose house lay in a pleasant quarter of Paris.
Away from the malice and gossip of the palace.
And so it became the habit of the queen to take tea with Constance.
Much to the alarm of her husband, D'Artagnan, captain of the King's Musketeers.
Therefore, a worthy enough gentleman to offer the queen protection at his house, particularly when he had at his command such brave and noble men as...
Porthos! At your service, miss. And Athos, who had taken up his title of Comte de Fer and was now completely cured of his passion for my Lady de Winter.
Who's the Winter? No.
Because he had found true love in the person of the Lady Louise de la Valliere.
Another lady-in-waiting. She returned Athos' affection, but was unable to marry without royal consent.
Which we declined to grant.
Aramis had fulfilled his ambition and had taken holy orders. As Bishop of Varennes and confessor to the Queen Mother, he played a significant part in court life and was well on his way to becoming a leading politician. Oh, he still secretly longed for the good old carefree days when he was one of the 4 Musketeers. Oh, come on! And one for all! Yay!
Fontaine de patronage for the arts and the craft.
Monsieur Aramis, now the Lord Bishop of Varennes, is an ambitious man. His apartment in the palace is close to that of the Queen Mother, so that he might hear her confession and tend to her spiritual needs.
But to rise at court, one needs the favour of the king, not his mother.
So Monsieur Aramis commissioned Monsieur Lebrun,
An artiste of genius, posed for me yesterday morning, and he's coming today to pose again.
He's very good at it.
Ah, but my dear Monsieur Lebrun, did you follow my instructions?
Yes, and it looks ridiculous. I painted it face and hands and nothing else, as you instructed. But without the costume, it is completely spoiled.
Spoiled? What? Spoil the king's pleasure? Oh, no, monsieur. How can you say? I wouldn't dream of the king's pleasure spoiled by me. Mon Dieu, whatever would become of me?
So, you will show Monsieur Lebrun the costume?
Of course. But only if you will promise not to splatter paint on it.
Splatter paint? I, the great Lebrun, never splatter paint. Who do you think I am, monsieur? Some enfant finger painting the walls?
Well, since you mention it, monsieur...
Gentlemen, please, let us remember that all this is to please His Majesty.
I have it. I'll have one of my assistants make up a second costume. And then Monsieur Lebrun can splatter away to his heart's content.
And you, monsieur, will also have a spare in case your scissors slip.
Yes, well, I'm sure you'll both make an excellent job of it. Now, you will excuse me, gentlemen. I am to visit the Queen Mother.
No need, Monsieur Aramis, no need. My beloved mother is with us.
Nonetheless, Monsieur Aramis, we are glad to see you. Well, since you are the Bishop of Varennes, you can offer us advice on a new policy we are minded to make.
Your Majesty, I think you should consider this matter further.
So you are still with us, Monsieur Colbert. We thought we had given you our royal permission to depart.
Forgive me, Your Majesty, but I wanted to be sure I had heard Your Majesty correctly.
It's a simple matter, Colbert. Revoke the Edict of Nantes.
And end toleration for Your Majesty's Protestant subjects.
My son, consider this matter further, I beg of you. This will plunge France into civil war again.
Monsieur Colbert, we are a Catholic. Therefore our subjects must also be Catholic. Well, if they do not follow our religion, they do not follow our wishes. And if they do not follow our wishes, they are traitors. We do not countenance treason.
But Your Majesty...
Well, Monsieur Lebrun, how goes my portrait? Very well, Your Majesty. Given such a subject as Your Majesty, the paint practically applies itself to the canvas. Indeed. Are my features then so common that they can be copied with such ease? Not at all, Your Majesty. I merely meant that as Your Majesty is nature's work of art, naturally you inspire other works of art.
Indeed, it is as Monsieur Lebrun says. Your Majesty positively invites duplication. Everywhere Your Majesty goes, he has a royal shadow or twin.
An interesting idea. But alas, impossible. Upon reflection, I will give further thought to revoking the Edict of Nantes. That should be so good as to advise me later.
Your Majesty knows I am yours to command. By Your Majesty's leave.
Yes, leave us. In fact, all of you leave us. We wish to be alone. Except Mademoiselle de la Valliere. We would like you to stay with us. Mademoiselle de la Valliere, come here. Stand beside me. Whom do you see in the mirror?
I see you, Your Majesty.
I swear to God, I'm half afraid that one day I'll look there and see Monsieur Colbert or my mother staring back at me.
I'm sorry, Your Majesty.
It's nothing. Nothing at all. Well?
Your Majesty?
We offered you a new apartment in the palace. Close to mine. Such an honor, little Louise, to be so close to the seat of royal power.
It is an honor I do not deserve.
I'm sure you will find a way to thank me.
Mademoiselle de la Valliere has to decline your generous offer.
Madam, Your Majesty will excuse me, I'm sure.
Is our mother growing deaf in her dotage? We told you to leave.
Oh, my little son. Take care you do not push me too far.
Not you as well. Now, how long are you or Colbert going to keep this shadow hanging over me? You will not allow me to make a single important decision. Am I the king or am I not?
I'm only trying to save you from yourself.
Such maternal tenderness. Did you feel the same love for the one you abandoned? Or is my twin brother important to you only as a threat to use against me?
That is enough. If you wish to keep your throne, then behave like a king.
How can I? When you and Colbert have pawned my crown, in the name of God, how much longer? Reynard! Reynard! She tells me how to run my family, he tells me how to run the country, and I cannot stop them because they hold the trump card. Well, how goes the search?
Success, Your Majesty.
Success? You mean you found it?
Not quite. I found the daughter of your mother's midwife. The old woman had died and the young girl had married. It took quite some time to trace them.
We do not employ you for storytelling, Reynard.
I indulged a little friendly persuasion of the girl. She told me that the old woman had taken the baby to an estate called Noisy-le-Sec, owned by a certain Cardinal Mazarin. And on the Cardinal's death, passed to Monsieur Colbert.
Got him. It has to be. Does the midwife's daughter suspect?
That the baby was your brother? I don't think so.
We cannot take the risk. Kill her and her family. Once you've made sure that the man at Noisy is our brother.
I've already been there. It is a large chateau, very high walls. The young man never leaves the grounds. I saw him. He is the image of your Majesty.
There can be only one King of France. No more civil war, no more Fronde, no more rebellion.
I have never shed royal blood before.
Nor with you now.
If this is our twin Philippe, he is half ourselves. If you cut Philippe, might not Louis bleed? Or if you kill Philippe, might not Louis die?
Then you will leave him in peace?
And allow our mother and Monsieur Colbert to use him as a threat against us for the rest of our life? Oh, no. Renard, you are to seize Philippe and take him to a prison where no one will ever find him, and no one is to see his face on pain of death. No one.
I can't guard him with blind men. Someone will have to see him.
Then cover his face.
And those of Nazi who have seen him? Servants, tradesmen?
No one who has seen his face can live.
I understand, Your Majesty. And as a reward for your humble servant?
We did not imagine that you would require a reward, my dear Duke.
Your Majesty is too kind.
And now, Monsieur Colbert, we shall discuss the Edict of Nantes my way. Has the good bishop absolved you of all your sins, mother?
Madame, please do not take your son's remarks to heart. He's young, and young men are always resentful of maternal...
Maternal interference?
Madame, I did not mean...
I know, Aramis, I know. I'm afraid you will never make a politician.
I'm beginning to believe you're right. I should have become a monk, or remained a musketeer.
You would have made a very bad monk, monsieur. Your reputation with the ladies.
Oh, that was long ago. No, I fear I'm growing old, and remembering my youth makes me melancholic.
You're not alone, Monsignor. Will you hear my confession?
Here, now?
Yes. I have a great need to unburden my soul.
As your Highness commands. Guards.
Father, I confess a great sin against my son, against both my sons.
Both?
You must have heard, Father, that I gave birth to twin boys.
Well, the story is known, but the elder child died shortly after birth. There was a funeral, a very small coffin.
Mazarin made me do it. He said that twin boys would be bound to fight for the crown, that they would tear France apart.
Did he kill the child? Is it infanticide you now wish to confess?
Oh, God forgive me, it might as well be. No, Father, it is not infanticide. Philippe, the elder boy, was weak and sickly. I did not think he would live. But we did not want there to be any doubt over Louis's claim to the throne, so...
Well, yes, my daughter.
So the midwife took Philippe away. She did not kill him, Father, I swear. He was brought up in luxury, educated. He was happy, I think, but he did not know who he was. I even visited him a few times when he was very young, but he didn't know that I was his mother. He called me Madame la Fantôme.
But you haven't seen him recently?
No. Mazarin and I, God forgive me, we told Louis of his brother's existence and used him.
Used him?
We threatened to reveal Philippe's existence unless Louis did as we said. Philippe is the elder, you see. He should be king, not Louis.
So, you deprived one son of his inheritance in order to blackmail the other?
Father, I know it was wrong, but what was I to do? Louis is headstrong and vicious. I must have some hold over him, some way to restrain him. But now, Louis is desperate to find out where Philippe is, and if he does, I fear he will not hesitate to kill his brother.
Who else knows of this?
Monsieur Colbert. Since Mazarin died, he is the only man I can trust.
Except for me.
Yes, Father. And you. Is there... Could God ever grant me forgiveness?
God always forgives, my child. Your sons, however, may not. Go to the chapel and pray. I will meditate on this.
You won't tell anyone?
Confessional is sacrosanct, madame.
You must understand, Father, that what I did was for the good of France.
No one could doubt your motives, madame.
Only their outcome. I know, Father. Believe me, I know.
And Aramis, left to wrestle with his conscience, could do nothing to comfort her. At the very least, he consoled himself. The true heir to the throne of France was safe, far away in the south.
A quiet sort of place.
A good spot to hide.
A remarkable face.
I taught you to read.
And you taught me to write.
And I taught you reason.
And I want to fight.
We brought you up as if you were our own.
No, and I'm grateful, but now that I'm grown...
But son, we've been through this. You know you can't go. It's not up to me. I wish it weren't so.
Don't think me unkind. I don't want you to grieve. I don't care what it costs. I just want to leave.
It just might come true.
Monsieur Philippe, I have a warrant for you.
No!
The flash of cold steel and the Tutor lay dead.
The housekeeper too. Then their the guard was upon him. He tried to fight back.
He carried him plenty, but training he lacked.
A clash of cold steel, but Philippe could not last.
He was disarmed, and his hands were bound fast.
They covered his face with a bag they drew tight.
And a carriage was summoned to ride through the night.
Crack of whip,
Slap of hand. Creaking leather.
Pounding hooves.
fear and pain.
Rushing blindness. Hurtling onwards.
Drum of hooves.
Whirling questions.
Blows for answer. No direction.
Drumming hooves.
Another day's journey.
Then cliffs and the coast. He was dragged from the carriage.
And into a boat.
He heard the oars creaking.
He heard the gulls cry. And still, though he pleaded,
No one told him why.
Still bound fast and blinded.
They brought him ashore. He heard clang behind him.
A strong prison door.
Hide the face was the order.
Hide the face with a mask. Hide the face
made of iron.
Hide the face, rivet fast.
Hide the face, no one visits. Hide the face, hold him fast. Hide the face, welded tightly. Hide the face with a mask. Hide the face, on forever. Hide the face,
shield your eyes.
Hide the face, he who's seen him. Hide the face, quickly dies. Hide the face, hide our traces. Hide the face, cover tracks. Hide the face, no one saw him. Hide the face, watch our backs. Hide the face, you haven't seen us. Hide the face, watch the wall. Hide the face, wipe your memory. Hide the face, clear it all. Hide the face, there's no reason. Hide the face, no reply. Hide the face,
Farewell, monsieur.
hide the face.
Though rumour had it the lady was unwilling, reserving a virtue,
Or raising her price.
the apartments you see are next to the king, just one little passage away.
No one had ever seen the king so in love.
His eyes full of dinner everywhere.
You're not happy then with your new apartments?
I am honoured, Your Majesty.
Charm.
Why?
Charm. But lacking sophistication. We shall have to pass you over to Passerat.
But sir...
Tailor, mademoiselle. Country naivety has its place, but we require courtly fashions.
But I do not have money for
Louise! Louise, you will break our heart. Can you not accept a gift from your king? And your humble slave.
Oh, Your Majesty, please, you mustn't.
Your care for our person moves beyond word. We trust this is essential, Reynard.
1,000 pardons, Your Majesty. I thought Your Majesty would like to know that I've carried out Your Majesty's orders.
We expect no less, so go away. Oh, mademoiselle, you may leave us. Where?
The Ile Saint Marguerite.
Face?
Masked.
Not see the sec.
All those tapestries, very flammable.
Witnesses.
Tragic accidents.
Just call their spies.
Your Majesty, there is not a chance that they can trace them. I am the only one who knows, and Your Majesty has already bought my silence.
And will continue to do so.
Your Majesty is both wise and generous.
Have you taken leave of your senses?
Are you addressing us, madame?
Dismiss him.
Oh, we were under the impression that we were the king. Do tell us if we were wrong.
What I have to say to you, Louis, is for you alone.
And why, madame, is Monsieur Colbert here? But we are glad to see you, Colbert. We have a task for you.
I live but to serve Your Majesty.
We sleep easier in our bed, convinced of the fact. Monsieur Colbert, we are minded to bestow the Duchy of Lorraine upon our beloved servant Reynard.
What?
And we wish to furnish him with sufficient monies appropriate to his new rank. See to it, Colbert.
Your Majesty.
You were given an order, Colbert. I would carry it out if I were you. Await me in the treasury.
Your Grace.
Your Majesty. Madame.
Louis, I have come here to discuss the matter of my lady-in-waiting, Louise de la Valliere. I hear you have moved her into these apartments. Is this true?
She pleases us.
I thought I made it clear that you...
And I thought I had made it clear, Mother, that I am the king. I, not you, and certainly not this accountant. I am no longer a child, and I will rule my country, my court, and my people as I see fit.
No. A true king rules for the good of his people, not for his own depraved whims. Your father would never...
My father? Well, let's do talk about my father, shall we? How many times did you cuckold him, or have you lost count? I don't think you are in any position to preach to me about my father, madame.
Then perhaps you should consider your brother.
Oh, God, yes. My brother, my ball and chain, your very own trump card. Let's discuss my brother then, shall we? So what should we talk about first? The climate at, Glossy le Sec? Or perhaps you hadn't heard about the terrible fire at the chateau there? All those tragic accidents.
You wouldn't dare.
Try me.
Murderer!
Oh, no, Mother. You murdered him. You robbed him of his birthright. What could I do to better that? Your son still lives, madame. No thanks to you. But he lives on my sufferance. And in my care. Monsieur Colbert, we shall meet in the morning to discuss royal policy. We trust that you will be ready to carry out our will.
What have I done? Louis must have found free. Oh my God, what might he do to him?
We must find him.
How can we? Louis could have hidden him anywhere.
No, not Louis. Reynard. Whom else would the king trust with his secret, and whom has Louis just rewarded so generously? Reynard.
Arrest him.
On whose authority?
It won't matter once he's in the Bastille.
Yes, but I have to get him there. He won't trust one of my men.
Then send someone else.
I have to. I'll send one of the king's own musketeers. Someone so trustworthy and honest that Reynard won't suspect anything.
D'Artagnan. He has always been discreet and loyal.
The captain of the king's musketeers. Who better? By your leave, madame.
of our story, the Palace of Versailles was still only a building site.
The king had great plans for it, but it wasn't fit to live in yet. So the court was still in Paris, crammed into the Tuileries.
This overcrowding made it very easy to get into some parts of the palace.
Such as the laundry.
It was almost impossible to get into the private apartments, unless you had a clever plan.
Constance, my love, if His Majesty finds out that Athos is in the palace, are you sure this will work?
Of course it will, my sweet. This is the only way that Athos can sneak in and see Louise. Look, trust me.
I just think we could have spent a little longer planning it.
What? And give the king time? And give the king time to have his way with Louise? What do you take me for?
Athos, behind that screen.
I have a bad feeling about this. Bonjour, lady.
That's the captain of the Musketeers, that is.
I wouldn't mind scrubbing his smooth, I can tell you.
It's very warm today, ladies, isn't it?
Charming weather, don't you think?
She's his wife.
Oh, look, do run along, ladies. Haven't you got some scrubbing to do?
Have they gone?
Yes, you can come out. I'll go first.
Captain D'Artagnan.
Monsieur Colbert. I was unaware that Monsieur's political duties extended towards an inspection of the laundry.
Or Monsieur's military duties.
Quite, yes. My wife has occasion to visit, and Constance knows that I cannot bear to be parted from her for even an hour.
Captain, the king needs you to act on a matter of urgency. I am sorry to drag you away from your pretty wife.
Oh, please don't worry about that, monsieur. My husband knows that I can occupy myself without him.
You can?
Of course.
You see, it may be a matter of life and death.
I am as ever yours to command, monsieur. My love.
Monsieur, Captain D'Artagnan, I do need to explain what it is you have to do.
I love it when he dashes off like
That was close.
Oh, Constance, I couldn't wait another minute. Did you get word to Athos?
Louise? I mean, mademoiselle.
Athos?
At your service, mademoiselle.
But Athos, what are you doing here?
I've come to rescue you. Aren't you pleased to see me?
Oh, you are the dearest, sweetest, most loveliest man in the world.
I'm going to take you away from here.
Where shall we go?
My estate. You'll love it, Louise. Fresh country air, trees, lakes, mountains, and bedrooms.
Oh, it sounds wonderful.
No more intrigues at court. No more gossip and protocol. And no more fighting of the king.
We would like to pretend that we did not hear that, Monsieur le Comte. Seize him!
Never fear, my own love. I shall return.
Follow him! We hereby denounce the Comte de Fer. He has gone too far this time. We declare his titles and estates forfeit, and he is henceforth an outlaw. Do you hear? You, mademoiselle, coming with me.
What are we doing now?
The king said to follow him.
But we're the king's bodyguard, right? We can't leave him unprotected. Our duty, right, is to stay with the king.
Well, it's not like the king's in any danger, is he? I mean, he only had that woman with him.
Woman? I mean...
You mean she could be dangerous?
Not half as dangerous as that bloke.
Are you not silly, huh?
Welcome back to the Cardinal's Inn. Get it? Cardinal's Inn. Because back then, it wasn't the fine establishment it is today. In fact, it was a right old. Down by the river. Oh, now you must remember that at this stage, I had no idea what was going on.
As usual.
April in Paris, evening. Oh, the romance. The blossom just coming out, the warm air, the scent of flowers.
The stench of garlic. Oh, get on.
It was just a normal evening, except for Monsieur Reynard.
Hello! Rocher!
At your service, Monsieur.
Monsieur no longer, Blanchet. Rocher, you have the honour of addressing the new Duke de Lorraine.
Hey!
I drink for everyone. Monsieur le Duc.
Well, before you go making generous offers like that, it is the policy of this here tavern to see the colour of your money first.
Madam, you doubt my word?
I doubt everybody's word.
Duke!
Bless you.
Very well.
Oh, nicely, your grace.
Thank you.
Oh, good evening, Master. What are the usual, is this?
Oh, no, evening, Blanchet. Not for me, I'm afraid. I'm on official business.
Official business? I haven't done anything. After all we've been through together, the years of faithful service I gave you. Oh, not to mention the worries. But I didn't complain, no, not once.
Yes, you did. No.
The only prison in the world, you've forgotten all your old friends.
Well,
You don't care that I've had the script and saved to buy this place.
Blanchet.
Now you want to ruin me over a little matter of back taxes and smuggling. Not that I know anything about either.
Blanchet, I haven't come for you. I'm searching for a Monsieur Reynard.
Oh, him! Oh, he's over there. Oh, he is. And he's the Duke de Lorraine. And I'm Cardinal Richter.
Have you been drinking your profits again?
Don't know.
Monsieur Reynard!
It's the Duke de Lorraine, actually. Who wants to know?
D'Artagnan, at your service. Captain of the King's Musketeers. I must ask you to accompany me to the palace.
Why?
Because the King requests it.
The King? What should you have just seen him?
It is not my habit, sir, to question His Majesty's orders.
Who actually gave you this order, sir?
Monsieur Colbert.
Then I must decline. Because so might I. My dear Captain, you did not expect a Duke to travel without his retinue.
Who is it? What's the matter? Like a sleeping man, would you? I'd have you know that I'm a musketeer. But Lord the Musketeer, I am Porthos. D'Artagnan?
Good heavens, Porthos! It's wonderful to see you!
I'm not enduring with you. You never could let a fellow sleep.
I really do advise you to come along with me now, sir. They seem to doubt me all of your men.
I will reserve your concern for yourself and your hound.
What did he call me?
Give Monsieur Colbert my regrets.
Smart ass.
As I said, monsieur, you are asked to accompany me to the Bastille.
You said the palace.
Did I really? I really should learn to be more careful. Or else, if you don't mind.
This way.
Just a moment. Blanchet, we seem to have interrupted the orderly running of your establishment.
Quite like old times.
Cover it?
Oh, lovely pleasure doing business with you, Mr. D'Artagnan.
Ah, monsieur.
King of
walking.
Captain, I am a duke.
Right, you lot! Get this mess cleared up now! Come on, get out!
It took us a while to get the old place cleared up, I can tell you.
Mind you, the money so generously donated by Monsieur Reynard helped a lot.
Yeah, he did miss it, being he was in the Bastille at the time, helping Monsieur Colbert with his inquiries.
Lasted 3 days. Not bad going for such a weasel.
And then Monsieur Colbert summoned D'Artagnan.
Thank you for coming, Captain D'Artagnan. Your friend, Monsieur Reynard, has been persuaded to talk to us.
I'm honoured to have been of service, monsieur.
Not so fast, my dear D'Artagnan. I'm afraid the matter does not end there, but I cannot give you all the details.
I do not concern me, monsieur. I am but a simple soldier.
Exactly.
What is it that I am to do, monsieur?
It is dangerous.
I'm a Gascon, monsieur. I love in the face of danger.
There is a fortress off the Normandy coast, known as the Ile Sainte-Marguerite. Reynard has been keeping one man a prisoner there. You are to take a few men and rescue him.
Consider it done.
He is well guarded.
I am well armed.
He must be brought to the Bastille in absolute secrecy.
You have my word. I shall leave at once, farewell.
There is one other thing. Monsieur. The prisoner wears a mask. Under no circumstances are you to remove the mask.
Yes, monsieur.
Why? You must trust me. The king will grant you anything you care to name as a reward for this service.
I am overwhelmed, monsieur.
Ah, Captain D'Artagnan. We are so glad to have found you. Come here. We would speak with you.
As your majesty wishes.
Colbert, leave us.
As your majesty wishes.
Your majesty.
Captain, Captain, Captain. What are we to do with you?
Your majesty.
We had thought that you were loyal to us.
I am, sire.
And yet you keep such low company.
Planchet's a good fellow, sire.
We are most displeased with your friend, Athos, the Comte de Fer. It would grieve us deeply if we learned the captain of our own musketeers put to be sheltered in such a road.
I'd rather die than grieve your majesty.
We hope it won't come to that. Very well, Captain. Leave it.
Your majesty.
Oh, D'Artagnan.
Your majesty.
If you should happen to bump into the former Comte de Fer,
your majesty,
do tell him how very much we are enjoying the company of Mademoiselle de la Valliere.
Your majesty.
We have heard, my Lord Bishop, that you are planning a surprise for our birthday.
But if I answer that question, your majesty, there won't be a surprise.
Well said, sir. We like surprises, but only if they're nice ones.
Your Majesty, come along! Come along!
What is the meaning of this?
Sir, resisting arrest, sir. I fell downstairs, sir. In self-defense.
Your Majesty, treachery! I've been imprisoned in the Bastille!
We can tell. What have you done?
Nothing, Your Majesty, except carry out your orders. Colbert had a D'Artagnan arrest me. They know about the Ile Sainte-Marguerite.
What?
D'Artagnan has gone to rescue the prisoner.
We are very disappointed in you, Reynard. Could you not allow yourself to be tortured a little longer for your king's sake?
Sire?
We think you are right. Colbert was talking to D'Artagnan as we arrived. He will try to rescue him. Reynard!
Your Majesty.
Double the garrison of the Ile Sainte-Marguerite. Send word at once. I want D'Artagnan to walk into a trap.
Yes, Your Majesty.
And Reynard!
Yes, Your Majesty.
Please ensure that you dress appropriately the next time you come into presence of your king.
Yes. You two, with me. I told you.
Poor Captain D'Artagnan. Such a shame. His foolish escapade will not succeed. He'll take the Comte de Fer with him he's bound to. Then he'll be killed. Who will go and console Mademoiselle Lavalière?
Have I your highness leave to depart? I must warn.
Athos was not an happy man.
Poor lamb.
Yeah, the advantage for us, of course, is that when he was unhappy, Athos sought solace in the bottle.
In the barrel, more like.
And naturally, his good friend Porthos supported him throughout this trying time. And he never needed any encouragement.
Athos, my dear friend.
Don't speak, my friend, don't. I am beyond words. I've lost her. Why am I so cursed in love?
Good question. One that had occurred to me. I mean, first there was that appalling De Winter woman. Good Lord. Imagine. Harlot, murderer, spy.
Porthos, you're not helping.
I'm agreeing with him. What else can a chap do? I said he's absolutely right. He has had the most appallingly bad luck with women.
Louis. My own little Louis.
What? Oh, you'll get over her.
I don't want to get over her. I want her back.
Look, this isn't doing you any good, you know. You need to get out of Paris. Go up to your estates for a few days and...
Porthos!
Oh, sorry, they've been confiscated, haven't they?
I'm ruined.
Look, Athos. Porthos is right.
What?
I am, good Lord.
Apart from anything else, the king has men searching for you. You ought to get out of Paris. You can't help Louise if you're arrested, can you?
And I can't help her if I run away, can I?
Well, not that much use at the moment, are you?
But you can help her if you come with me.
How?
Monsieur Colbert said that if I succeeded in rescuing this prisoner, I could have anything I wanted as a reward. Well, I shall ask for you to be allowed to marry Louise.
What did you say we have to do?
Oh, nothing at all. A mere bagatelle. Right up our street, this sort of thing.
D'Artagnan, you're a Gascon. A mere bagatelle to you is a full-blown war to most normal people. What precisely do we have to do?
Reach an impregnable island, storm the chateau, rescue the prisoner, and deliver him to the king of the Bastille.
Storm the chateau, eh? Both of us?
Oh, three of us? It'll be just like the old days. The Three Musketeers. All for us and... No, that's not it.
Thank you, Porthos, but I must warn you, it may be dangerous.
Ah! I spit at danger. And anyway...
Yes?
Well, truth to tell, I'll have a little scrap of cash at the moment. Do you think there'll be any of this reward left after Athos has got what he wants?
Yes, I'll do it. Gentlemen, I give you a toast. To the future Comtesse de Fer.
But,
sir, the future Comtesse de Fer!
D'Artagnan, don't! It's a trap! Too late! I drank it!
Not the drink. D'Artagnan, is it true you're going to the Ile Sainte-Marguerite?
Yes.
On whose orders?
I'm not at liberty to say.
Oh, good man, don't you trust me?
It's not that, Aramis, it's just that you're
The bishop, is that
it? No, not at all, old man. Look, I'm sorry about this, old chap, but you're a politician.
And you're not!
I am a Gascon!
Hasn't the brains for politics?
Neither have I. This is nothing to do with politics. I'm trying to save your lives. You know a man named Reynard?
Right. The fella called me a dog.
Listen, I was with the king. Reynard told him you were going to the Ile Sainte-Marguerite. The king ordered him to double the guard and expressed the hope that you and Athos would be killed in the attempt.
Ha! Well, I intend to disappoint His Majesty.
No, it's not possible. The king knows that I'm his most loyal subject.
Apart from giving aid and succor to fugitives like Athos.
How dare you!
No, Athos, I'm just trying to point out that the king has a reason to hate D'Artagnan.
No, he doesn't. He can't have. I'm dedicating my life to the service of the crown.
I know. But the king is not himself at the moment. His actions are odd.
God! His great-grandfather was a madman. Madness runs in the family.
Sorry. Aramis, you don't understand. I began my career by undertaking a perilous mission for the crown, and I shall end it the same way if necessary.
Even if it means certain death.
I am a Gascon! I embrace death willingly in a matter of honor.
So, you will take your friends to death with you?
Right. I can't. I shall go alone.
You damn well won't.
Absolutely. He's reinforced the garrison. They know you're coming. It's a trap. It's madness.
Madness, Aramis. Honor.
Mean to say, can't let a friend down. Balls for one, and what's that?
Yes, Aramis. Friendship, honor, a good cause. Remember those things?
D'Artagnan, please, there's more to this than any of us know. I don't know what...
Aramis, I know. Let us part friends.
D'Artagnan, gentlemen. Oh, if only I weren't a bishop.
Aramis, you haven't forgotten, have you? Eh? Not really?
I can't let you go alone.
I bet your old instinct's still there.
Well, there goes my cardinal's hat.
Got it! All for one, and one for all! Yeah.
The days dragged by.
Why do I always get the boring jobs?
Monsieur Reynard had...
He means the Duke de Lorraine
had doubled the guard.
What's the point?
What?
All of us here guiding one man.
Yeah.
I mean, what is the point of it?
That's the reason why.
He's got a point there. What? Well, him in there. Not a good spoon point, is he?
Yeah.
Not even allowed out of his son?
No.
Yeah, right. So, why all of us, eh?
Will you horrible little men shut up and do your duty?
I'm so bored.
Soldier,
Hey, what's that?
don't you start.
It's our left.
Oh, yeah.
It must be Thursday.
Oh, yeah. Arlette is the daughter of the innkeeper in the fishing village across the bay. Once a week she roams over to the island bringing...
Fresh bread for the guard.
Yeah.
What's stew for the guard?
Yeah.
Beer for the guard.
Yeah.
For the guard.
And company for the guard.
Arlette also brings bread and wine for the prisoner, and he's been negotiating a way through the guard room. Hurries along the passages and the tunnels of the Ile Sainte Marguerite to Fleet South.
Monsieur Philippe! Monsieur, it's me, Arlette.
Come in, mademoiselle. Make yourself at home.
Oh, monsieur, you've hardly eaten anything.
I hardly get a chance to work up an appetite.
You mustn't lose hope, monsieur.
Why ever not? You've doubled the guard again, haven't they?
Twice. What have you done, monsieur, that they are so afraid of
I
you?
wish to God I knew. That seems so very terrible to you.
Well, I can tell that you're a gentleman, monsieur.
Even under this.
I can tell by the way you behave. Unlike those guards.
That's not saying much.
I brought 4 more over this morning.
But what's 4 more? I can't get past 1. I'm sorry, Arlette. I'm not the best of company today.
Oh, don't despair, monsieur. These 4 are different.
More reinforcements?
Arlette! Come down here and reinforce me, darling! Like that!
I've got a crick in my neck from hiding under that top wall, and my leg is numb from those awful.
And for the Arlette has done as we asked.
For a man of the cloth, you certainly have a way with the ladies, Aramis.
Here we go.
Hey, halt! Who goes there? Friends or a foe?
What would you do if we said, "Wow"?
Sword!
What's going on here?
We've come to reinforce you. You had your orders, didn't you? Gentlemen, please! Gentlemen! Gentlemen, I'm sure you're all wondering what exactly is going on. Well, that's perfectly natural. I have here a letter from the Duke de Lorraine explaining everything. Good news is, we've brought extra pay for you all, so just step over here and my colleagues will deal with you.
More pay? That don't sound very likely.
Stupid conversation anyway.
I told you they never fall for it. Oh, you horrible little man. Come here! Don't argue when your superior officer is lying to you.
In that case, gentlemen, let us take what we need and leave.
Just finishing off.
Bravo!
I've forgotten how good he
Don't
was.
encourage him. He's a Gascon.
No, he's on our side.
1,000 pounds, monsieur. I thought they might have orders to kill me if...
Not at all, monsieur. Monsieur will step with us quickly.
Is this a trap?
Not at all, monsieur. I give you my word of honor as a Gascon and as captain of the King's Musketeers.
Gentlemen, I suggest a little haste. We say we were attracting the attention of the rest of the garrison.
Would you rather stay?
Absolutely not.
Then come with us, quick.
Oh dear. Oh dear, what? Oh dear, they have a cannon.
D'Artagnan! Oh, there you are!
Which they're reloading.
May I suggest a sudden haste?
They're firing!
Thank you for pointing that out.
Get to the boat, quickly!
After the dead!
Right, where was I? The story so far.
You haven't time!
Oh, right, I know. Look, they rescued the man in the iron mask from the Ile St. Margaret, right? And Arlette, the innkeeper's little daughter with a big boat, took them to the shore, where there'd been 5 horses tethered at the top of the cliffs and... Oh, work it out for yourselves.
Oh, you, D'Artagnan! You'll have to let him rest.
Where's Aramis? Saying goodbye to Arlette. I don't think she knows he's a bishop.
Arlette, I must save your strength. It's not your fault. You're out of condition, that's all.
He's not the only one.
She'll be all right. Aramis, how do you do it? As a man who's taken a vow of celibacy.
My dear Porthos, my only interest is in her soul.
So that's what the church calls it.
Gentlemen, please, we must get on. Monsieur, are you ready?
A moment, please, monsieur. Can we first remove the mask?
I'm most heartily sorry, monsieur, but my orders were not to remove the mask on any account.
Orders be damned,
In God's name, why? It looks damned uncomfortable and most unstylish.
It will also stand out like a beacon everywhere we go. Our pursuers need only ask for a masked man, and that kind of thing is very memorable.
I'm talking of pursuers.
But I have my orders.
Orders be damned, D'Artagnan. What are you? In the name of humanity, look at him. Aramis, tell him.
I think we should ask him why he thinks they put the mask on.
I don't know.
It isn't leprosy or something vile like that, is it? Were you burned?
No, none of those things. Monsieur, I promise you that I'm innocent of any crime. All I know is that anyone who has ever seen my face has died.
Ye gods, you must be hideous!
You are not put at risk.
Damn it all, D'Artagnan. Nobody gave me any orders, did they?
D'Artagnan, Athos is right. We can always put the mask back on when we reach Paris. Monsieur, forgive me.
Oh, be damnation!
Gentlemen!
It's him, it has to be.
What is it? Who do you see? Who am I?
What do you mean you don't know?
Oh, no, in God's name, tell me!
Porthos,
I think you should know!
What is it?
Monsieur, look!
Well?
Porthos, do you have a coin?
Not a sou! Why do you think I came on this expedition?
Aramis,
Over to the clergy, old man.
Athos, please.
How is this possible?
Who in God's name are you? Who are your parents?
Gentlemen!
Quiet, Porthos, please. Well, sir.
I honestly don't know. Well, my name is Philip de Noisy, that's all. I was brought up by tutors and nurses. Well, there was a woman.
Yes?
I hardly remember. She visited a few times when I was very young. Her face, just beautiful and sad. I called her Madame La Fontaine.
Oh dear.
What?
Aramis.
I really think you should know that...
Be quiet, Porthos!
Aramis, what is it?
I can't say.
You must say, look at him!
You don't understand.
I'm right, we don't understand. And look at this infernal mask. Someone knows who he is. What is going on?
Gentlemen, we should give some thought to leaving.
Not until Aramis tells us.
God forgive me. Gentlemen, let me give you a hypothetical.
What do you mean, hypothetical? I'll hypothetical you.
Listen! Suppose a priest heard a lady of high and noble birth, extremely high and noble birth, the highest possible, in fact.
Oh no.
And she confessed to having concealed the birth of the elder of her sons, her twin sons.
You don't mean that...
Yeah, and then later on, the priest is confronted with the hidden son, who remained in ignorance of the circumstances of his birth. Well, what then should the priest's duty be, given the sacred nature of the confession? We gotta go!
You know, the brother of the king. The elder brother. Well, doesn't that mean that I should be the one?
Get the horses!
Well, what? What is it?
There are 4 boatloads of guards from the island about to land. I suggest we leave.
But this man, what are we going to do?
I finished your conversation, fascinating though it is. Later.
Get the bags and bring that damn mask.
To the horses, quick! Honestly, Porthos, what did you tell us earlier?
The reason why men are superior to women is that men are creatures of action.
Can't say I've noticed.
It's obvious, woman. Bravery, action, fighting. I myself am no stranger to peril.
No, knows your backside all too well, I should imagine.
What I mean is I have shared in my master's adventures. The sights I've seen, the fights I've seen.
Mainly from behind a solid piece of furniture.
All I'm saying is that generally it is we men who are the bold heroes, whereas women tend to stay at home, out of danger.
Oh yeah, you try giving birth, mate.
The point is, right, that while D'Artagnan and Athos and Philippe and the rest were all dashing round being shot at...
Oh, yeah, enjoying themselves hugely.
Yeah, well, while they were doing that, what were Constance, Louise and the Queen doing?
Waiting, watching, worrying.
See? They had it easy.
I wish D'Artagnan would send me. Shh.
The connecting door, if the king's in there, he can hear every word.
How do you know?
Because when he shouts, I can hear every word. Oh, Constance, I'm worried. The king is getting more insistent. If Athos doesn't come soon, I don't think
I'm sure they will not fail. All they have to do is storm a castle and rescue someone.
But it's so dangerous.
Oh no, it can't be. D'Artagnan would have told me if it was dangerous. We have no secrets from each other.
Constance, dear, D'Artagnan wouldn't recognise danger if it bit him. He wouldn't think that walking naked onto a sword was anything more than a bit risky.
That's true. Walking naked onto a sword.
Well, apologies, ladies. I thought I might find the king here, as is so often the case.
That's all right, Monsieur Reynard. We quite understand your being out of touch with court customs, given your recent little spell in the Bastille.
A place with which your husband will soon become familiar.
I can't imagine what you mean, Monsieur.
When I tell His Majesty about your husband and his friend's little plan to escape, I'm sure he'll be most displeased.
It was at His Majesty's request.
Was it really? Now, whoever told you that? Excuse me, please.
You can't go that way.
Whatever not, why you decided?
Well, Paul?
Escape? What do you mean escaped? I told you to double the guard, you incompetent. Ow!
I hope, ladies, I do not catch you spying on your king.
Certainly not, Your Highness. We were just,
dancing.
Dancing.
Practicing dancing for the ball, the celebrations for the king's birthday.
I want it clearly understood that no one is to spy on my son, other than myself. Do you understand?
Absolutely, Your Highness.
So that if we were to accidentally overhear him say to Monsieur Reynard, for example, something about an escape, we should forget about it immediately.
An escape? Yes, I should forget about it at once. And then I should run along so that no one could ever imagine you'd been within earshot.
I shall remember Your Highness's advice, should the occasion arise, which I'm sure it won't.
Good day, Your Highness. Monsieur Colbert.
An escape! God be praised, D'Artagnan has done it. Philippe is free.
Yes, but if D'Artagnan has managed to get Philippe out, and the news has had time to reach Reynard, why hasn't D'Artagnan reported back to us?
Mon Dieu, what if one of them was injured?
Or what if D'Artagnan has discovered the truth about Philippe?
But D'Artagnan is the soul of honor.
That is what concerns me. D'Artagnan may decide to put Philippe on the throne. He does have the prior claim.
God forbid he'll start a war. D'Artagnan wouldn't.
He would, if he felt it was the right thing to do, and damn the consequences. We'll have to stop him.
Stop D'Artagnan? The very idea. Fatally, I think.
Although my dressmaker will be most displeased if she has to make a new gown.
That depends, of course, on whether she needs the money. She might be quite glad of it.
Oh, so this was all a plot to rustle up more custom, was it? I knew it couldn't be for myself. Even my own husband cannot bear my company.
Oh, Your Highness, you mustn't.
Oh, God knows I feel like breaking crockery myself sometimes. What is it about me that he hates, Constance? I know I've had children, but have I grown old and ugly?
You mustn't take it personally, Madame. The King...
Oh, he's not the man I fell in love with. He was so young, so idealistic, and his portrait. I kissed it each night before going to bed. And on my journey here to France, I kept a miniature of him pressed against my heart. Do you know that? And he was kind at first. Do you know what makes me angry? So angry I want to claw at his face, draw blood. I've spent hours, days even, wondering what I've done wrong. Me!
You've done nothing wrong.
I know that. In my lucid moments, I know that. But then I start to worry and then I feel guilty. But it's true, it's not me. He has changed. And recently, well, either I'm going insane.
No, I can assure Your Highness.
Or he is. There, you've said it. Treason, I suspect. But it's true. Something's wrong. God knows I'm a Habsburg. I'm not supposed to love France. But I can't bear to see this madman ruin her. The taxes he's proposing and the way he treats the nobles. Take the Comte de Fer. How can Louis propose to ruin a noble line like that just because Athos wishes to marry a woman whom Louis wants?
Madame, I know Louise de la Valliere. The last thing she wants is to hurt you.
Constance! Constance! Well, forgive me, my dear, I did not realize you had company.
Monsieur, not you, Porthos.
Company, Madame, must not be seen here.
Gentlemen, just a moment, please. I am sorry, madam. I have forgotten that you may be here, but I can assure you that these men have not seen you.
Seen who?
Our lips are sealed.
And our eyes, anyway, are blinded by your beauty.
How can a bishop say such things?
I think it would be better if we avoided titles.
Not at all!
It's the lady who is a friend of my wife, Porthos.
No, it's the...
Hey! Got it.
And this gentleman?
Oh, his name is...
No name.
Fidelis.
Fidelis. And are you, sir, faithful?
You, madame? For eternity.
Sir, can I not see your face?
You better not.
It's wounded, disfigured.
Truly?
Madame, the wound you have inflicted on me today goes far deeper, for it has gone to my heart.
Constance, my love, I think it's time that you returned Her Majesty, this lady to the palace.
Yes, of course, dear. Come along, Maria. Gentlemen, if you will excuse us.
You don't want to know.
She's so beautiful.
What is it now, Porthos?
You know what he reminds me of?
We all know that's the problem.
No, not that on his face. That damnful lovesick expression. That's D'Artagnan, remember? When he first said, eyes on Constance. Dear lady, we were just talking about you.
Your Highness.
Oh, Constance, no. My dear, let me explain.
You see, it's not only us. She works at the palace. She knows what he looks like. And you fooled her.
What am I to do? Where can I go?
Well, my orders were to take you to the Bastille. The king wishes to talk to you.
In the Bastille?
Well, it's a lot less public than the palace.
Damn sight less comfortable.
So your orders came from the king?
Yes.
In person?
Well, no. Monsieur Colbert actually spoke to me, but he assured me that my orders came straight from the king.
Oh, but darling, they couldn't have.
What?
Well, when I told Monsieur Reynard that you were acting on orders from the king, he said, now who could have told you that? So then I thought perhaps you weren't. Especially when the king was so angry when Monsieur Reynard told him about the escape.
Because it was the king and Reynard who had you locked up in the first place.
My own brother.
So the rescue was Colbert's idea.
Yes. The question is why?
Simple justice.
Ah, my dear D'Artagnan, Colbert is a politician. He is rarely just and never simple. No, he wants you to use against Louis, so he wanted to keep you under his control.
Hence the Bastille.
But surely I'd be seen there, recognized.
Well, what were Colbert's orders about the mask?
Well, he told me not to remove the mask on any account. Oh, how could I have been so stupid?
You're a Gascon.
Colbert made me part of his evil scheme. Monsieur, I beg your forgiveness.
Oh, monsieur, it is I who am in your debt. It is plain to see that you did not know what you were doing.
He's a Gascon.
It is also clear that I cannot go to Monsieur Colbert. I cannot go to my brother. Well, what then am I to do?
We will not abandon you. We'll take you to a place of safety.
Where? Wherever I go, my face will be known. And sooner or later, the news will reach the ear of the king or Colbert. I'll be dead. Or back in that mask.
No. There's only one safe place for him now. On the throne.
A coup.
We might manage it. Most of the nobles are pretty upset with Louis for one reason or another. We need the support of the army, though.
God's name, no! It would lead to civil war. Thousands would die.
But you said that it would have
a coup. A substitution. Replace Louis with Philippe. No one need ever know.
I couldn't.
Well, we coach you.
Why should I? I am the eldest son. The throne is mine as a right. I should not need to scheme for it.
Oh yeah, he's a Bourbon, all right.
Even if claiming your right means ruining your country, would the rightful king put his wishes before the good of France?
Right, monsieur, forgive me. Let's be selfish.
If we do decide to try this, it will be dangerous, possibly fatal. Are you prepared for this?
Gentlemen, if you pledge yourself to this enterprise, then I will pledge myself to you. And I swear that I shall rule France with more justice than my brother has done. It is only fair, though, that you discuss this without me. I will await your decision elsewhere.
Well?
I can't. I swore an oath to the king.
Philippe is the king, rightfully. Your oath is not valid.
That's just politicians' talk. Back in Gascony, an oath is an oath. Why can't we be open and honest about this and present him in front of everybody at court?
Because we then have a nice, open and honest blood bowl. Don't be a fool, D'Artagnan. Louis is the man. He'll ruin France. Did you swear an oath to the man or to the country?
Both! The king and the state are one.
One.
Shut up!
What if the king is wrong, or mad, or rotten, or stupid? Think what Louis has done, and what we've seen of Philippe.
Look, I know I'm not very bright and all that.
True.
But it seems to me it boils down to two very simple questions. One, is he the rightful king? Answer, yes, he's the elder. Two, would he be best for France? Answer, yes, he's not a spoilt brat with delusions of divinity.
Well, what about you, Athos?
I hate to admit it, but Porthos is right. And that's all there is to it. And then, of course, there's the little matter of my title and estates. And, of course, Louise.
D'Artagnan.
For the good of France. For the good of France. Now, gentlemen, we must move quickly. Take Philippe, Majesty, to your estate, Athos, and on training to be a king. Constance, my dear, you and I will see to it that he looks like one.
Well, he already looks like one. I mean, that's the whole point, isn't it? Or am I missing something?
No more than usual.
Constance, I need you to be very brave and very clumsy.
Oh, I'm good at that.
The king has an extra special costume for his birthday mask next month. I have had a duplicate costume made.
Mon Dieu, monsieur, have you been planning this all along?
God, if only I had. No, my child, God moves in mysterious ways. But the spare costume will be back with the royal tailor, and Monsieur Percerin is very proud of his creations. He will not let it go.
So you want me to steal it?
Oh, God forgive you, my child. I'm a man for cloth. How can I ask you to commit so grave a sin? No, I want you to borrow it. And then there's another little matter to do with feathers, but I'll explain as we go.
Feathers?
Feathers. How absolutely fascinating.
It's easy enough to decide to do something. The practical details are often the most difficult, especially when you're not the only ones plotting. It was at this point that a number of different threads started being woven together, and it takes a man of rare ability, such as my good self, to untangle them.
Get on with it!
To begin with, the Musketeers took Philippe to Athos's estate just outside Paris. They had less than a month to groom him for kingship.
He knows nothing of politics or economics or theology.
Sounds ideal for a king.
So I will teach him when I get back from Paris. I shall teach him love, honor, and sword play.
I shall teach him etiquette.
Etiquette?
Estate management, dancing, the duties of the nobility.
And I will keep an eye on the rest of you fellows.
All well and good. But what they didn't know was that back in Paris, that slippery fox Reynard had been carrying tales.
So, they think they can replace us with our country cousin, eh?
Your brother, actually, sire.
We grow weary of this, Reynard. Weary of these clever plots and counterplots. It is time for a bold man to earn his sovereign's gratitude.
How, sire?
Kill them. Kill them all.
Even...
Especially Philippe. Delicacy could cost us our throne. You know where they are. Take a company of men and kill them all. And feel free to use unnecessary force.
Only as a last resort.
Well, Monsieur Colbert?
I shall send a detachment of my own guards as well to make sure.
We are glad that you have seen the error of your ways, Colbert.
It is a wise man who knows when he is beaten.
Good. We are glad that you understand us. We hope, though, Colbert, that you will show your contrition in some ostentatious, extravagant, and expensive gift to us on our birthday, to show us that your heart really is in the right place.
It will be my pleasure. In fact, I can add to it a certain insurance.
Insurance?
Well, we both know that Reynard has failed you in the past. He may perhaps do so again, especially given the unpredictable nature and skills of D'Artagnan and his friends.
They need a miracle.
They do have the Bishop of Varennes with them. My thought is, if the bishop wants the dressmaker to change the colour of the feather in your costume...
So that it no longer matches the painting. whereas the impostor's feather will match the paint.
Why not let them succeed in their plan, and simply pay the painter to change the feather in the painting?
It will be amusing if they think they have succeeded. See to it, Colbert. And Colbert, we will consider the payment to the painter as your first part of your debt to us.
So, little realising that Louis knew of their plans, Aramis and Constance paid a visit to Monsieur Percerin, the royal tailor.
For the last time, my Lord Bishop, I cannot help you. Oh no, my dear lady, please do not touch that. I am busy with orders. I cannot possibly make you a costume. No, not the hat. It is for the king. You really mustn't.
Oh, please let me try. Oh, never fear, monsieur. Look, I'll just ram it. Oh dear, silly me.
Oh, you imbecile! You clown! It is ruined! Ruined! The king's costume for the ball! I am ruined! My house is ruined! Oh, do not move, madame! I beg you, lest the whole of France plummet into an abyss!
Dear Monsieur Percerin, calm down!
Calm down, when this angel of destruction has touched me!
But you have a spare costume. Yeah, and red feather would look even better. A spare. Now, I will see to it that this rag is destroyed. You see, isn't it lucky that I had a spare one too? Now, I will take this young lady and this ghastly gold feather out of your precious workshop. So sorry to have troubled you. Good day, monsieur.
Meanwhile, at the Chateau de la Terre, Philippe's education was coming on apace.
Who's affair?
Who is your mother, Anne of Austria?
Three. Three.
Your father, Louis XIII. His advisors, Richelieu and Cardinal Mazarin. On whom do you model yourself?
Apollo, the sun god.
Disarm!
Who is your lover?
Do you mind?
All right, who's the woman you are trying to seduce?
Lead my future wife out of this.
Well, you ought to know, just to pretend. For a bit.
I'll explain it later in private.
Meanwhile, back at the palace, the royal painter, Monsieur Lebrun, had an eminent and unexpected visitor.
Another interruption. Mon Dieu, how can I create art when I am forever interrupted and disturbed and deranged by... Oh, Monsieur Colbert.
Monsieur Lebrun, I bring a message from His Majesty. He wants you to change the portrait of him, the one that Monsieur Aramis commissioned.
Ah, but the portrait is a secret. It is to be a surprise for His Majesty.
There is very little that passes without the king's knowledge, monsieur. Though he appreciates everything that you've done, and Monsieur Aramis too, but he wants you to give of your very best.
Oh.
But you see, he has changed his costume.
Oh, no! Change the costume? On the night before the ball? Well, I cannot paint another in a day. It is impossible.
No, Monsieur Lebrun, please. It is only a minor alteration.
Minor? How minor?
The hat feather. It is now red, not gold.
Just the hat feather?
Just the hat feather. And since the Lord Bishop may well be delayed, I will be in charge of presenting the portrait.
but it will mean a long night for my staff and me.
Why me?
I think that will cover any inconveniences. Oh, and tell no one of the alteration. His Majesty too likes surprises. Good day, monsieur.
Good day. Take the king's portrait. I need to seek inspiration. When all is ready, I shall be consulting my muse. In the tavern, then.
Well, I suppose this means the sitting's over.
I'm afraid my master cannot finish.
Yes, I know, I heard, but never mind. At which tavern does he drink, monsieur? There is something of great importance I need to tell him.
I'll show you.
Ancestral home of Athos's family. Nice, isn't it? Now I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, hang on, if Athos had all his estates confiscated by the king earlier on, how come he can go to his chateau and train Philippe for a month? You thought he got me there, didn't you? Now the reason is the king ain't got round to sending a bailiff out. He'd been busy. Anyway, we know he was putting it right, in a roundabout kind of way, by sending Reynard and 100 men to take possession permanently.
So, is this where you finally did something useful then? Did you ride out there and warn them?
Me? Ride out there? With 500 murderous guards on the way?
I thought you were a man of action.
I am. But the action I took was of a more subtle nature.
Yeah, so subtle nobody noticed. Sounds like our wedding night.
You see?
Yeah, you said that then and all.
What do you mean you can't?
It's the king's birthday today, it's the ball this evening, and I'm not ready to lure the imposter.
Believe me, my word is a casco. Oh, God, you're more than ready, sir.
But I can't dance. Well, Louis is an exquisite dancer.
I taught you all the steps.
I can't remember any of them.
You will. The moment you take the queen's hand, you'll glide across.
The queen?
Sorry?
The portrait, Athos. Have you got it? We haven't shown him what his wife looks like yet.
Often a blessing.
This is the queen.
Yeah.
Yes.
Louis's wife. My wife.
Yeah.
Wasn't she the lady I saw at your house?
Yes. She often takes tea with my wife. She's unhappy because Louis neglects her.
You said, but how could anyone neglect such an angel?
Kind of woman who needs a decent husband, wouldn't you say?
Why didn't you tell me this earlier?
It's your birthday today too. Look upon it as our present.
Quickly, gentlemen, the horses are ready. Your Majesty, if you could just slip this on.
Can't ride to Paris looking like the king.
Wear a cloak. We may need you to be the king to get us through the gates.
You won't get as far as that front door.
Reynard!
At your service, Captain. Well, gentlemen and lady, the time for play acting is over. His Majesty tires of schemes and plots. I'm afraid I'm going to have to kill you all.
Monsieur, this is a matter for gentlemen. I must ask you to escort my wife to safety.
Orders are orders. If you surrender now, it will be quick and clean.
Gentlemen, take Philippe and Constance. I shall cover you.
We'll cover you.
We three will cover you. Philippe, take Constance. We four will hold them off.
I will not run. I am the king of France. I do not run from dogs such as these.
And I'm not going anywhere either.
I see. Pity, but to be truthful, I expected no less. Second company, on a roll.
What did you gentlemen say under these circumstances?
All for one, and one for all!
Bishop of Varennes. Do you dare to attack your Holy Mother Church? Or praise be she such a forgiving mother? Bless you, my son!
Well fought, sire.
We really must be going.
Not so fast, gentlemen.
I am getting very bored with this fellow.
And I'm getting sick and tired of you interfering with my plans. Now, for the last time, will you surrender?
On her, you're dead.
And if I don't, throw down your swords. You two, D'Artagnan.
I must warn you, monsieur, you're having in your hand a very dangerous item.
I know, monsieur, and it's pointed at your wife's throat.
No, monsieur, it is my wife. No! This is between Monsieur Reynard and myself.
Well, don't be too long about it. We have a ball to attend.
Hurry along quickly, I shall be waiting too long.
I'm not leaving.
All right, it's my love.
I cannot tell you, Captain, how irritating your interference in this scheme has become.
Monsieur, I am a Gascon. It is our national pastime.
You are getting old, Captain.
Monsieur, a musketeer is only as old as the dog he kills, or fox, in your case.
Do you realise how much it's going to cost me to repair this mess? We have 6 miles to ride, a palace to break into,
a queen to worship,
a banquet to demolish,
a Louise to rescue,
and a king to enthrone,
and rights to uphold.
And only 3 hours to save France.
Everywhere.
Anybody who's anybody was invited.
The flower of nobility.
And 1 or 2 weeds.
They say that the cost is gigantic.
They say it will bankrupt the treasury.
I blame the Minister of Finance, Monsieur Colbert. Well, I'm not one to gossip.
No.
But they say that Monsieur Colbert has agreed to pay the entire cost himself.
No.
Well, as God is my witness, apparently he's displeased the king.
No.
He's trying to buy his way back into royal grace.
No.
Are you listening to a word I'm saying?
No.
Oh.
Yes, that's it. Just there. This little anti-room will do. Oh, careful! That is the king's present. Where is Monsieur Lebrun? Oh, all the times. And there's been no sign of the Bishop of Varennes?
Not since yesterday.
This is most strange. This portrait is his present to the king.
I am aware of that. As a close friend of the bishop, I am trying to help him. I wonder what could have happened to him.
Oh, Monsieur Colbert, excuse me. I did not expect to find you here.
Mademoiselle de la Valliere. What a pleasant surprise. Whom did you expect to find here, not my poor son?
I think it's better not to say, monsieur.
I do hope it wasn't the late Comte de Fer.
Late?
It grieves me more than I can say to be the bearer of bad tidings, but I'm afraid that Monsieur Athos and his friends have met with a fatal accident. Perhaps now you will be more receptive to the king. I shall send him to comfort him.
Oh, it's all right. It's gone. It's quite safe.
Have you sent for the king?
Monsieur Colbert just tried to tell me you're all dead. He's going to get the king. I didn't have to do anything.
Are you sure?
Oh, yes. Go and bring the others, quickly.
All right, but for pity's sake, try to look sad about it.
Mademoiselle de la Valliere.
Your Majesty, excuse me.
You have had some unsettling news, we hear. Ah, my dear Louise, you know that we have no love for the Comte de Fer.
Oh, Your Majesty.
We are stricken to our very soul to see your grief. Ah, Louise, see how we rush to comfort you, even on our day of joy. We hope you are sensible to the honor we do you. Oh, my dear Louise, can you not see how our heart burns for you, how your king is your slave, how much we desire to explore every last inch on you possess? Go away, Reynard!
I'm afraid, sir, Monsieur Reynard is unable to be with us.
I must ask you to come with me.
You dare draw your weapon on your anointed king? Think well, D'Artagnan.
I have thought long and hard, believe me, monsieur.
And you, my Lord Bishop, does the church preach treachery now?
No, sir. Nor does it preach fratricide.
This has gone on long enough. I have not their scruples, sir, and that lady is my fiancée. Come with us quietly, or I will silence you myself.
Murder, treason! Arrest them! What are you waiting for? Arrest them!
Who shall we arrest? Appears we have an impostor in the palace. Will the real king step forward?
But this is ridiculous. Any imbecile can see that we are the king.
Good idea. Now we shall determine the truth of this.
Stop this nonsense at once, Baron. This is the king, and this is the impostor.
No, I beg to differ, Monsieur Colbert. This is the real king, and this the impostor. You imagine that His Majesty would shout and scream and struggle like a kitchen maid.
My son?
Madame, surely you recognize your own son.
They are both my sons. Do not ask me to choose again.
Your Highness, which is your husband?
You ask me when the entire world knows that he has been a stranger to me for so long. God forgive me, I cannot be his judge.
Monsieur, it seems we have reached an impasse.
Not quite, my dear Bishop. You are forgetting your gift to the king.
My gift?
Oh, come, monsieur. Surely you haven't forgotten the splendid portrait you had painted of His Majesty. His Majesty wearing exactly the costume he would be wearing tonight.
But they are both wearing the same costume.
Not quite, dear lady. His Majesty's hat plume, you see, is red, whereas the impostor's plume is gold.
But the original costume was gold. Ask Monsieur Percival.
So we shall, never fear. But your accomplice, Madame D'Artagnan here, had a little accident in Monsieur Percival's workshop. Don't you remember? So the true king is wearing red.
Not so. The true king wears gold.
There is only one way to be sure. uncover the portrait. If it shows that the plume is gold, then this fellow is the king. But if the plume is red, then this is the true king. Do you agree?
I agree. Your Highnesses?
Very well. In the absence of Monsieur Lebrun, please uncover the portrait.
Porthos! Release His Majesty, there's a good fellow.
Oh, sorry, forgive me, Your Majesty.
Monsieur Colbert. Take this impostor away, he shall not be allowed to speak.
Damn disrespectful.
Take him away!
His Majesty wishes to dance. Let us return to the ballroom.
With me? But what of Mademoiselle de la Valliere?
She has already spoken for, madame.
My congratulations, Monsieur Emmerich. How did you do it?
I'm sure I don't know what you mean, monsieur.
The portrait. I paid Lebrun myself to change the pellet of red. How the heaven did you find out that I knew?
You knew.
Of course I knew. How did you know?
I don't know, how did we know?
We didn't. We were at the Chateau de la Fère.
Louise?
Well, I was having my portrait painted when you came to see Monsieur Lebrun, so I took steps to make sure he didn't carry out your instructions, Monsieur.
You?
Well, not entirely alone. With Constance and the gentleman gone, I had to find another ally. Someone who could leave the palace easily and waylay Monsieur Lebrun at his favourite tavern.
Oh!
Well, it had to be a man of strength and daring, a man swiftly acting and courageous, handsome.
I might have to kill him!
May I present to you the saviour of us all?
I had to do something to earn me money, didn't I? And that was our I Save France.
You saved France? Oh, you got rewarded by the king for holding a painter hostage all night. I bet you just got him drunk.
It's a dirty job for someone's going to do it.
Well, tell them about the rest then. What happened to King Louis?
We have already given our instructions about the fate of the imposter. Proceed.
So, you mean he was taken to the Ile Sainte Marguerite with a mask?
Who knows for sure? But what is certain is that Philippe reigned as Louis for years and no one noticed the difference.
Well, almost no one.
Monsieur,
Monsieur? A strange way to address one's husband, madame.
But my husband doesn't seem like himself tonight.
Really? How could such a thing be?
One might almost believe that he has been replaced.
What would your reaction be to such a monstrous event?
Well, that would depend.
On what?
My children. They are the legitimate heirs to the throne.
Naturally. They are, of course, our children.
Do I have the word of a king?
Yes, you do. But you also have the word of a man who has loved you from the first moment he set eyes on you.
Sir, the court is unused to such displays of affection.
Damn the court! They'd better get used to it.
Monsieur Colbert remained as Minister of Finance. As a good politician, he knew when to admit defeat, but he also knew that every king, whoever he may be, needs an intelligent and flexible First Minister.
The Queen Mother never quite got over the shock of that night and continued at court in a state of semi-retirement. Her relations with her son, though, were always of the warmest and most affectionate nature.
Monsieur Lebrun was paid handsomely to forget his ordeal at the hands of a certain low and mean fellow, and found, like many an artiste before him, that suffering was merely a spur to genius, inspiring him to greater and greater achievements.
With more and more inflatable prices! The palace guards with no one to attack,
and no longer called upon to be attacked by the musketeers, could have grown bored and discontented
if he had not been for the considerate attentions of the palace staff,
who worked diligently to keep their hands full.
Porthos was rewarded with a promotion, which he sold, and elevation to the ranks of the nobility, whom he shocked as often as possible.
Athos was restored to his title and estates, and even more were added.
He and Louise were married, and their children had a curious mixture of godparents, from royalty to tavern keepers.
Aramis became one of the king's chief ministers, and through his majesty's influence and his own imposing piety, was eventually made cardinal.
D'Artagnan became general of the king's armies, and was involved in any number of hair-raising battles, skirmishes, and sieges.
Always returning to his beloved Constance and their many children, whom Constance looked after with her usual tender and delicate care.
And despite suggestions from His Eminence Monsieur Aramis that the name be changed, Planchet's tavern, the Cardinal Sin, went from strength to strength.
France entered a golden age of prosperity and peace.
But however much Athos doted on his children,
or D'Artagnan doted on Constance,
or Aramis was devoted to the church,
or Porthos to his wine,
and there were days when the four of them would forget their elevated responsibilities and new responsibilities and
ride like madmen with the wind in their hair,
swords in their hands,
honour in their hearts.
Because they were closer than brothers.
The King's Musketeers.
The 4 Musketeers!
All for one!
And one!